For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
We might be concentrating on what is taking place between Palestine and Israel today. But spare a thought for St. Lucia even before you do that. Because we have our own situation here involving some kind of internecine warfare. Lives are continuously being lost in such tragic circumstances. The island records a latest homicide, and that is to manifest what is happening on the ground in our country. Last week, somebody from in the Dennery area, his body was found with a gunshot wound to the head, and this certainly has not the nature of that incident, the circumstances, not been determined, and yet we have, on top of that, another homicide in our country. That is the reality. We'll also be hearing about politics, and of course we have a whole lot more, including your calls. I'm told that we finally will be able to take your calls at 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and that is 716-2026, along with your WhatsApp messages and, of course, your discussions in the chat room. Kimani will be going through some of your comments. Is it really NewsSpin and the news spinners who are concerned about the crime problem in our country, which is primarily manifesting itself in homicide after homicide? Or it's a case where the rest of the country, they have become so inured to what is happening. It's business as usual for them. It's par for the course. It's, well, I'm concerned, but what can I do about it? Have we resigned ourselves to that kind of mental state and attitude? Folks, we're existing in a period I don't even know how to describe it. I really do not know how to describe it. First of all, the behavior of our leaders is a source of, or should be a source of, immense concern. The inertia that is being exhibited by most of us in this country, this is shocking. And on top of that, we have a serious crime problem. It was just recently on Newsmaker Live. I had as my special guest this attorney, young attorney, impressive individual. And he was saying that we seem to be focusing on homicides. Yes, we have a number of homicides occurring. I think right now it's about 66. But think about the number of crimes that go unreported because people believe it will not amount to anything if they call the police, if they drive to a police station, because very often, and the evidence is there, the police will tell you, go back to the crime scene, go back to the area where the threat was made against your life, and we will be joining you there very soon. And the end result is that you can end up being decapitated. So crime is a major, major problem. And I could hear some people already making some excuses. You think it's Philip J. Pierre that's sending those people to commit those crimes? You think it's the government that is doing that? I don't think any of our governments and government officials and government ministers have done that. And if it has happened, you know, we like to say on this broadcast, bring the evidence. There should be some thorough investigation to determine whether any lawyer, any doctor, any businessman, etc., can be found to be connected to those crimes. So we have no evidence of that. What we know for sure is that we have a serious problem on our hands, and the authorities, I know some of you will take objection, do not have an adequate and effective response to this. And you wonder why, amidst this chaotic situation that we're going through, how government ministers get the time to focus on mundane issues, focus on Panama, and focus on Barbados, and focus on New York, and focus on Antigua, as opposed to what is happening in St. Lucia. Aren't you concerned when you hear that a 25-year-old resident of Bar-Saint-Joseph, identified as Dane Felix, is the island's latest homicide victim? He is from Bar-Saint-Joseph, and I'm told the incident occurred this morning just after 7 o'clock at Ticolon. Think he is a music producer. But it was only last week we recorded another homicide. Somebody was found slumped in their vehicle. They were shot in the head. And the police, I imagine they're still investigating this particular homicide, that particular homicide, and now they're focusing on yet another homicide in our country. And yet still, those people we elected them to address things of that nature. We don't believe that you can wave a magic wand and tackle the crime problem, but we want you to at least demonstrate that you care about the lives of the people of this country, to do something that is workable. What has happened to the Israelis? You think right now Netanyahu is not concerned, is not grieving with the over 700 relatives who lost their family members, and the so many thousands of people who got injured, and the 200 odd people who were killed in this festival? It is his responsibility, and questions will be asked of him why this happened under your watch. Why did it happen? But in this part of the world, in St. Lucia in particular, people like to make excuses for politicians. Philip J. Pierre is responsible for our security. Matters relating to our health, he is foremost responsible. Matters relating to the high cost of living, he has to come up with solutions to that particular issue, because who knows? People are malnourished. You never know. People are malnourished. They cannot take care of themselves. As a result of that, the immune system would be weakened. They would end up losing their lives. That is not an exaggeration. Why do you think that the Prime Minister invested so much time and energy in the run-up to the last general election? It was address after address, press conference after press conference, addressing what he deemed at the moment to be pertinent issues. What is more pertinent right now than our crime problem? What is more pertinent right now than the high cost of living? I'm talking about the crime, the instability that has been created in our country. What has happened to brand St. Lucia? What has happened over the last 2 years and a few months in terms of how the brand of St. Lucia, the brand has been impacted? And you as an individual, I'm sure you're concerned about your brand and your reputation. What do you think? How do you think we are perceived in many parts of the world, in particular our next door neighbors? Martinique, Grenada, St. Vincent, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Guyana, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Anguilla, BVI, you name it. When you mention the name St. Lucia right now, you think they're making reference to 2 Nobel laureates, drive-in volcano, the Pitons, crime. That is at the center of everything pertaining to St. Lucia right now. The number of homicides that we continue to record on the island. And more than that, the lack of an appropriate response. So you have some experts, individuals, offering their services, and the Prime Minister would outrightly reject it. Recommendations to the Prime Minister, puts it in the dump, the wastebasket. He believes that he has all the answers to our problems, and when you offer recommendations, he would take them as some form of criticism. Anyone who tells me, who's brave enough to tell me that we are okay in St. Lucia, they would be lying. And you know, again on NewsSpin, we don't say you lie. Okay, we don't say that. We say it, what? Terminological. You're finding yourselves practicing terminological inexactitudes. But anyone who does that would be lying. And it boils down again, whether some of you want to believe it or not, poor leadership at various levels. Poor leadership. What happened over in VA4 and what continues to happen there is as a result of the people being neglected by our governments and in particular by the MP. The MP did not take office in terms of providing representation to that constituency as of 2021. He has been the MP from 1997. That's about 26 years. And no one wants to be brave enough to say, Mr. MP, former Prime Minister, you should take some of the responsibility, even some of the blame, what has been happening there in that constituency. So, it's all about looking for answers to our problems on this broadcast. We hope that we could come up with solutions. You could come up with some recommendations that would cause the people of St. Lucia to not only be concerned, but to want to do something about the problem in this country, or the problems that we experience, without being hypocritical and without being partisan, to the extent of saying to yourself, well, my party is in power and therefore I will not criticize my party because they're doing okay. Give the government a chance. Only a little over 2 years. They're trying. Not a case of giving governments a chance. It's a case of keeping the government on its toes because you fought to get into office. From day one, you entered into those government buildings. You were sworn in, government minister, MP for this and that. You come into the job well prepared because you knew of some of the challenges. There's certain things that were on the horizon, certain things that were looking, and even then, there are instances where, based on certain trends, you can anticipate that certain things will happen. I mean, high cost of living, inflation, you know that is always lurking somewhere. The high cost of petrol, you know that there's a possibility it could happen. We have gone through this time after time. The problems in the health sector, you know about it. Come prepared to deal with those challenges. Education, the security of the state. This has plagued us over several decades. So don't tell me that you don't have the answers to those problems. I mean, the opposition, United Workers' Party, is very critical of the government right now. If come the next general election it wins, you think we should be tolerating excuses? People telling you that they're not aware of the magnitude of the problem in 2x4 St. Lucia. So crime is a major issue, and we cannot continue to ignore it. It is a problem that needs tackling on several fronts. Earlier on, I made reference to V4. So I think there was this political activity over in V4 South. And NewsSpin has already endorsed APA as the candidate for that seat in the next general election. And you might think it's a papi show. It's not. If Dr. Kenny Anthony, with all his degrees, former prime minister, respected, I think he's more respected overseas than in St. Lucia. And it's not me trying to ridicule Dr. Kenny Anthony. I'm just saying that Dr. Kenny Anthony has spent years upon years working with CARICOM. He has been a lecturer over in Barbados. So he's well exposed. I think more people know Dr. Kenny Anthony outside of St. Lucia than those, particularly young people, who live in this country. He's a respected individual. You can't take that away from him. But it appears that he does not have what it takes to first identify the problems affecting people, particularly the folks of V4 South, and then to invest some time and resources to diligently work towards improving the lives of those people. And so what kind of impact do you think he has had on the lives of residents of V4 South? Has he really brought any kind of major improvement to the lives of those people? Can they attribute their success to his hard work? And those are questions that we need to ask. And hopefully somebody will be furnishing us with a response. Do you really, on the basis of his performance as MP for V4 South, or to make it less complicated, on the basis of what has been happening in V4 over the last few months, the last year or so, do you think the people of V4 South would be doing an injustice to themselves if they were to re-elect Dr. Kenny Anthony as the MP? If he were to contest the next general election, and I doubt he will. And also, Would it be proper for the people of VA4 South, under any circumstance at all, irrespective of who contests that seat, vote for that candidate so that another SLP candidate will be representing them in the nation's parliament? To what end? What will the result be? It is a case where Dr. Anthony as MP neglected the people of VA4 South and, by extension, SLP administrations. But at that political activity on Sunday in VA4 South, listen to Dr. Virginia Albert Poleon, Home Affairs Minister and MP for Babonneau, and addressing the situation over in VA4 and saying that the government is committed to giving support to residents of that southern community.
We are fully aware that Vieux-Fort in recent times have had its challenges, and many things that are discussed in the public domain. However, the Vieux-Fort people, I can give you the assurance that the government is committed to give all its support to the constituency of Vieux-Fort South so that we continue to hold the fort. We continue to hold Vieux-Fort South in the belly of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And as parliamentary rep for Vieux-Fort South, we are currently in the process of getting a framework together with discussion with your parliamentary rep to look at a comprehensive approach on how we tackle some of the critical issues in Vieux-Fort South. There are many persons who feel maybe now they will want to do this in Vieux-Fort and that in Vieux-Fort. A lot of agencies come and they operate in piecemeal fashion, and they feel this is what the people in Vieux-Fort wants. You cannot decide for the people in Vieux-Fort South what is best for them.
Keep VA4 South in the belly of the SLP. Creating a framework. What's that? I mean, George Orwell's Politics and the English Language. He says political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and make murder respectable. So what's the thing about a framework? What's the thing about keeping VA4 South in the belly of the St. Lucia Labour Party? What have you guys done for the people of VA4 South lately? We take your calls right now at 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. 716-2026. And good afternoon to you, Kimani. How are you?
Good afternoon, Tim. I am all right.
And what's in the chat room?
Someone says maybe she should focus on Babonneau. Another comment, thought the framework was in place prior to being elected. Thought you had all the solutions. Another comment, Simona La Paca. Hot. Someone says, so it's all about holding the fort and protecting the victory. In another comment, someone says, to me, in the world of work, you get fired for not doing the job they employed you to do. So why can't we fire those we employed? Labour government has failed the country, and that's a fact. That's so true, Tim. I'm in St. Vincent, and all they talk about is crime in St. Lucia. Someone is alleging that the police officers are too busy carrying out orders by corrupt politicians. Another comment, how can crime stop when Peter Josie Spider make these kinds of statements?
Okay, we have our first call on 452-2979 in about what? 3 programs? So let's take that call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon.
Hi, I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
Very good. Yours?
Yeah, not too bad. I gave you a good break, a whole 2 weeks.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it?
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Okay, all right. So I'm a nuisance.
No. I'm not saying every break I can get, I appreciate, sir.
Anyway, let me continue. I listened to you the beginning of your program, and of course you make most everything you said I listen and it makes sense. You refer to the situation in the Middle East, which I'm coming back home quickly. I am monitoring that situation ever since that happened pre-dawn Saturday morning, caught the Israelis very much off guard. And I monitor that situation to see when the Israeli army will be able to get control of the entire above Gaza Strip and the West Bank. But you mentioned about leaders. And when that thing happened, I was listening to Prime Minister Netanyahu, and immediately he summoned a cabinet meeting with the Defense Force IDF, and they met, and there was this message was sending to the Palestinians, to Hamas and Hezbollah. Now, here in St. Lucia, we have tired of hearing about the National Security Minister. We have never listened to one of the announcements that we were supposed to listen to, or he was supposed to deliver to the nation. Once and for all, what he going to do in terms of getting these things, this crime situation on the level of control. You know, every time that question was posed to the Prime Minister, you continue to hear, I am not a policeman, and my father that was a policeman. Tim, I am getting sick and tired of that. So that is show you clearly that the Prime Minister has no idea as to what is happening in a country that he claimed to be a Prime Minister. Now, what is the last word I use claimed to be? Well, he's a Prime Minister. Because from unemployment, he don't know. This, he don't know. How can you have a leader and he doesn't know nothing? People are dying every minute. By tomorrow, NewsSpin will report another homicide. The Prime Minister does not know. What are we doing in St. Lucia as civil and law-abiding citizens, person that have business invest in that country? Are we going to sit there and listen to excuses from a person who doesn't know the front from to the back? That cannot be. The situation in Viewfort, and you mentioned about Dr. Anthony, I don't even want to, I believe before he closes his eyes, he needs to ask the nation and the people of St. Lucia to forgive him. Forgive him completely, because he will be go into history as one of the worst prime ministers St. Lucia ever have. And not even the constituency for 26 years. Failed representation. Nothing good on his name, just FF everywhere. And he, right now, as an honest man, if he is honest, asking the people of St. Lucia to forgive him because he did not do what he was supposed to do. Maybe he was so preoccupied in things that was not relevant, and then that is what happened. That is the end result of his tenure. You talk about whether he will go again. Never, don't believe that he's not going to give it a try again. I've heard so much report about J.D. Jean-Pierre Emmanuel, and then the next thing I heard that he still want to contest that constituency. You mentioned about APA. So many persons have criticized APA ever since he make his bid. He says he's going to contest the seat. Oh, he need to address this, he need to address. I will act just like Rick. I am going to give APA 100% because I think right now in St. Lucia is ghetto leader we need. Person that is from ground to ghetto level, a roots person who will be not in tie and in this, and have so many doctrine into the names which they have not fulfilled nothing with that, and always stiff undercover. Radical like APA. These are the type of person in Parliament, he will know how to act. He will know how to behave himself. But once we have person like that knowing all the people on the ground, and are walking all over and see the poor people of Viewfort in the Mang, in Shantytown, in the Bakar there, and in Root Sally, Bowlers area there. He knows the people. And I believe seriously he's going to make a serious impact on the lives of the people of Viewfort that have been miserably failed by that MP. I mean, May should not even have a town hall meeting and listen to Virginia. That is a woman, I don't know, the woman spoke as though she's in a bar. I just cannot understand an educator with an English accent so bad like that lady. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, caller. Give out again. What's happening in the chat room? People are dormant there? Because I see this complimenting you.
What's new, Tim? Someone says she heard that APA is coming, so she's asking Viewfort people to hold the fort. Another comment from last week, our healthcare is closed in Viewfort due to leaking in the building. Another comment, creating a framework to keeping Viewfort staff in the belly of the SLP. LOL. Someone says, it's a little too late, Virginia Poet. We need to just get rid of the disease called Kenny Anthony that has plagued us for almost 3 decades now. Someone says, Tim, you are so right. Up to now, the representing the constituency hasn't said a word about the incident that happened in Anskanota. That's it, Tim.
All right, thank you so much. Still to come, of course, some more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages. And former government minister says there is down in the south, march will be taking place very, very soon. So you'll find out in just a moment when we continue the broadcast right here on our NewsSpin Facebook page as well as YouTube and Power 97.9 FM.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From My Account to streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, luselect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. LuSelect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
And he's done it! He's done it! And my goodness, it's gone.
The biggest party in cricket is back! Premier Sports Inc. presents the KMC SPL T20. Powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Will defending champions Choiseul Craft Masters retain their crown? Or will they be pulled down?
Oh, strike throwing! Perfect.
From October 13th to the 28th, come witness the biggest party in sport at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds and Groseley Playing Field. Grab your tickets now. Saw Gas Station in Groseley, Amici Restaurant and Bar in Rodney Bay, Riverside Car Park in Castries, Soufre Foundation in Soufre, Monrepos, Choiseul, and Labrie Credit Union. Tickets are only $15 for adults, $5 for children. VIP $65 and $85. The party is back! The KMC SPL T20, powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Show them how to party.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Can't get a break from all this tax? Head to Automotive Art and get a taxcation. Automotive Art is offering you an ease from VAT and health and safety levy with savings of up to 15% and more. That's right, 15% of all tools, 15% of all accessories, 15% of car detailing, 15% of all rims, 15% of computerized wheel alignment, and 15% and more of selected tires with savings of up to 30% on some sizes. It's Automotive Art Taxcation. Visit us at Automotive Art at Vidbutai Castries and Latuni Vieux today and enjoy a taxcation. Offer valid for limited time. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
The Ministry of Commerce, in collaboration with the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, presents the 16th Annual St. Lucia Taiwan Partnership Trade Show at the Pavilion on the ramp in Rodney Bay, Grosley, from Friday, November 3rd to Sunday, November 5th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily. Come support the creativity of 69 local entrepreneurs and 16 Taiwanese businesses, including ICT and business solutions, food and beverage, and so much more. We will be hosting lots of fun games and activities for kids. Relax and enjoy the nightly live entertainment. Saturday features carefree karaoke with fantastic prizes up for grabs. Then on Sunday, we culminate in grand style with a strictly local fashion show and live comedy from Coke's Productions. Don't miss out. Free shuttle service provided from the Baywalk Shopping Mall and back. Come witness the emergence of our next generation of entrepreneurs.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. Sunday, November 26th. Sunburnt. It's coming.
We are in a state in St. Lucia where we have to be prepared to get out and march even if we are the only ones doing it. And when I get out and march out of my own conviction, I will find my brother and my sister waiting for me because they would have come out of their own conviction. This is what it takes to rescue St. Lucia. We are losing our souls. We need to begin to feel. We need to begin to care. And then we will act. So, nukai de san viefo, nukai we lopitala that nu take abatia, and let us begin to feel in St. Lucia.
Former government minister, and just heard there speaking on Sunday during the town hall meeting of the opposition UWP over in the south of the island. And once again, a word is that the United Workers' Party will be undertaking a march to St. Jude, that is this Saturday from 3:30 in the afternoon, followed by a public meeting. And the meeting point is Spartan Medical School next to the brewery. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And, of course, your comments in the chat room. We have a call. Hello, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, good afternoon. I think we have lost that call. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have a WhatsApp call. Hello, and good afternoon to you. You're on the air. Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon, Boom.
Yes, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, finally. I think you owe us some time too, huh?
Why?
You take the whole of Friday.
Beg your pardon?
Your program was good on Friday, but you didn't give us a chance to call.
Oh, my apologies. Because we had so many things to do. Yeah.
I know, so you are sometime.
Go ahead.
You'll have to negotiate on our behalf.
Okay, I'll do that.
Let me tell you, you probably have never gone to hunt wild pigs. But let me tell you something about hunting wild pigs. When you see the pig, actually, they will take your smell from a distance and you will not see them easily. But when you finally corner that pig, that pig will come right back at you, swinging left to right.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever gets, it will cut. And this is exactly what's happening in our politics today. Okay? There is a particular MP who's thin-skinned, and whenever somebody mentions his name, he comes out swinging. You understand? And that is an analogy I could have used to describe him. But going on the Kenyan Tony thing in discussion, it is obvious. Everybody knows that Kenyan Tony failed. When you go in, just look at the constituencies that the United Workers' Party have been working in, have been supporting, have been winning. And you look at these constituencies and you will see that there are avenues for young people. So you get a good playing court, a good field, you get multi-purpose centers, resource centers to help in the assistance of young people and so on. Look at Beaufort North, Labrie, and Beaufort South. There are no community centers in these places. The only one that's in Bellevue, the resource center in Bellevue, was built by Stevenson King. And I went there when was that thing? The place is a mess. The place where they're supposed to pass, the disabled people supposed to pass, they're really rotting already. You understand? The place is not even open at the back there. We had a guy who was on a wheelchair, and the guy had to climb up the steps on his knees. You understand? Because the place was not suitable at the back to go up with his wheelchair. You understand me? When you look at another piece of info, as far as I'm understanding right now, DSH is packing up. You have this investor who came down on this money. You understand? All the local race, horse stables had to do things. They had to make sure that the horses see a vet. They had to get the mutual license, whatever it is, so that they could have races on that racetrack. In other words, the horses you had to make sure that they had no disease and all of these things, because you can't go and buy a horse in millions of dollars and to go and race it among a horse that is all over the place, not being taken care of. You will not take that chance. So the local horsemen had to make sure that it was in order. You letting that investor leave the country while you go and prepare a ground for local horsemen to go and race. What sense does that make? These politicians have decided that they're going to keep Beaufort poor, they're going to keep Beaufort backward, and it is up to Beaufort to open their eyes and see what they're doing. So at the end of the day, it's obvious Kenyan Tony has failed, and if somebody tells you Kenyan Tony have not failed, then they look for sure they're telling you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. 452-2979, 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. I think we have on the call. Hello, good afternoon.
Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Brother Harris.
Yeah, Tim, how you doing?
I'm okay. You'll have to speak up a bit, please, if you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tim, I won't take a lot of time. Tim, I just wanted to... You said something earlier on about, something like you're not saying is this politician, that person in authority that's responsible for the crime. I won't agree with you fully and serious, because our action and our words are very, very dangerous. And people listen to those things. Tim, I wanted to call your show about 3 times, and then could not get through your WhatsApp. I don't have WhatsApp and so on. But what I wanted to tell we St. Lucians and people all over the world, for we to see any progress in St. Lucia, I'm begging people, let's forget about ourselves. Let's forget about ourselves and let's put country and human being first. And when I say forget about ourselves, I mean we are human beings. But what's going on in this part of the world, in these days we are living, everybody is there defending themselves. I did not elect government or opposition to defend themselves. We hire them, we vote for them, because in opposition, they always have the remedy for everything. I have never seen that. And I'm talking about politicians. And when they get inside there, it's a whole mess. Tim, all what you're hearing these days is people defending themselves instead of seeing about the business of the country. That one is saying it was there, that one is coming back there. That one is saying you short, you ugly, your belly big, Harris belly, mouth large. People, it's time for we to put those things behind. And I'll always, before I stop, I just talk a lot, I know, but they have other people. But before I go, I want people to take example on the Bible. Jesus Christ came into this world to die for our sins, to bring us back to his Father. It was so terrible. He told his Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass away from me. Let's look for another way. It looks so terrible. But he said, nevertheless, I came to do one work, is to save mankind. Not my will be done, but let your will be done. The people elect government to do their will, to make the country better. We look at the disciple Paul. Paul had to go to that place in, I forgot the name, wherever. And the angel came to him to say, Paul, if you go there, you're going to be killed. Paul said, man, I know that, but self, I'm going to crucify self. I don't care about self. God have people down there that need to hear the gospel. Paul went there and preached the gospel. Many people get saved, and what happened? He lost his life. People are not prepared. We celebrate Mandela. Oh, Mandela was a big man. This, that. We celebrate all type of heroes. But look at the heroes' example. They were not there for self. They forget about self. Some of them they lost their life because they were not there for self. They were there to fulfill, to do something for the generation that's coming after. Tim, when you have people, let me just tell you one short thing. Bill, just imagine these days, I'm not saying that to boast myself. You see, when I go and eat, or it's 2 hours before I eat, I don't even listen to radio news nowhere. Because I put myself in the place of some people I know, and I cannot eat my food properly. Because I said, I wonder if these people have a bread to eat what I am eating there, if they have a meal. I don't think about myself alone. I think about other people. I should not be calling that program if I was thinking about myself alone. I think about other people. They had some rain that just fell there last week. And all my guys saying, Harris, what's wrong with you? I said, man, the people in Shantytown, I called them, and they said there is flooding already. I said, do you know anybody who is in charge of the town council? I want to talk to that person. If I have to put some of the money, I will put some, and they will put the rest. You know why? Because I don't think about myself alone. I think about other people. Other people are important. And that's what we have to realize. Anyway, Tim, I saw your canine dogs. Your canine dog, rather, about 3 weeks ago. One that was working with the police for about 15 years. It was very sad. And then they had to put it to sleep. And they say that canine dogs have done so much for that police force. So much. Drugs, billions of dollars. And then it get old, they had to put it to sleep. And see soldiers stand up by the road saluting. And it was touching. And the guy that was really having the dog was crying like a little child. That's to show you that we can do a lot of things. Even the animals do better than us. Tim, I just pray and I just pray that we will forget about self, crucify our flesh, and don't listen to flesh, and go out there and do the will of God. Tim, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Brother Harris, for your contribution. Somebody says there, Virginia is so disappointing. First, she was putting mechanisms in place. Now she's talking about putting a framework together for V4. She's a damn theorist. All talk and no action. She should go fix the passport office and carry out the rest of her duties efficiently. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message while we are awaiting your calls once again at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. All right, I think we have a call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Tim,
Hi, good afternoon, Rick.
you read something by Orwell. You want to read that again, please?
Yes, George Orwell, and it's an essay, Politics and the English Language. The part I read was, political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and make murder respectable. But it's a very long essay. I don't know if you've ever come across the essay. Have you ever read it?
You can send me that title. I'd love to read it.
Okay.
But Tim, we read words often, or we hear words, and that's our problem in this country. And we run off thinking we have understood it. Just like people who write stuff and they write it one draft. Tim, I've been writing for most of my life. No matter how short the article, you can bet your life I've done as many drafts as time will allow. If I'm writing 3 lines, Tim, I will take my time and go over it. Does every word say what I want it to say?
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. That's how careful I am with words. But we don't care. We just think we understand what people write. And a lot of stuff goes on where politicians will take it and twist it. And I'm not sure in St. Lucia if the politicians themselves even understood it in the first place, and if they are genuinely passing it on, or if they're deliberately passing on versions that they think will be emotive. You know what I'm saying?
I think the politicians know what they're doing, particularly when they're trying to mislead the people. Very often they use the right words.
My point precisely, Tim, but I don't think that I think to do what you just said there requires a certain level of intelligence. And loud shouting or shouting out mispronounced big words will impress only the illiterate. I love examples, Tim, and you always give me time to do that. I remember one time, George Odlum, one of the first Oxonians, we love to call him the great orator, etc., etc. And George Odlum stood on the market steps. And George Odlum said that he is the only qualified person in this country to be Minister of Finance because he had done some finance. A lot of people heard that, and that made a lot of sense to them. A Minister of Finance, having a degree in some kind of degree in finance does not begin to qualify you to handle millions of dollars in a country and giving out to the just causes and so on and so on. No, it takes a soul. It takes a soul, Tim. It takes feeling for you to understand hunger. It takes knowing people to understand what it feels like to get up in the morning, have not an idea how you're going to give your kid for breakfast. No Minister of Finance learns that in any university. You got that?
Yeah. But let me ask you, Rick. Do you think automatically the Prime Minister of a country, especially in the Caribbean, should also be the Minister of Finance?
Let me answer this way, Jim. I don't care what these guys do in their office and what portfolio, and my view to answer your question would be actually meaningless and just a point of view. What I am saying is we have to have in office, we have to have permanent secretaries, we have to have people in positions where they have to deal with the plight of people as human beings with feelings where their own position that is not given paramountcy over life and death situations among poor people. That doesn't have anything to do with school or any of that. It has to deal with humanity.
So I asked the question. I asked the question, Rick, primarily because in a lot of the small islands, your Dominica, your St. Lucia, your St. Vincent, and so on, those leaders, when they assume the post of prime minister, they believe that automatically they have to be responsible for one of the key portfolios in the country, which is finance. This is, in the case of a number of other countries, by the way, there's a deviation. Barbados, the prime minister is not the minister with responsibility for finance, and she appears to be capable enough to hold that portfolio. Trinidad and Tobago, the finance minister is not the prime minister. Jamaica, the prime minister is not the finance minister. I just wanted to put this in. Anyway, continue.
I want you to consider this. We elect a bunch of people, and the reason we elect them is in St. Lucia, is which Mapui was more attractive, or who came out to vote based on how they felt on a particular day. Let's not play games in our country. We don't take our politics seriously because we don't understand how we vote will determine whether we live or die. We don't consider that because that is not any narrative on any talk show. That is not being taught in schools. That is not being taught. In fact, the exact opposite is being taught. Your police force is riddled with politics, partisan politics. There is not a department in this country that's not riddled with politics. When you have TV shows of people, and I'm not talking about one in particular, when you have TV shows that are really universities for filth, because you can be witty, you can, even then, what we call name calling, Tim, that is part and parcel of politics. But you determine the quality of the person by the kind of name calling. Yeah. So if I were to paint somebody as an Alice in Wonderland type of politician, an educated person will understand what I'm talking about, that person is dealing with fantasy and so on and so on. And you will not hear anything about name calling there because they will understand. Even the barking dogs. When a politician in Parliament would say, Mr. Speaker, it's a fact that if you lie down with the wrong dogs, you'll get up with fleas. That is literature. That is established terms. But if you go on in our vernacular, and you refer to another politician, maybe not in the House. I'm going to guess they wouldn't do that in the House, but on a platform, and you say Sarah Flotsala, say on Mama Chien. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm. It's crude. Now, it's crass.
Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
Although a Mama Chien is a bitch, and it seems nowadays women don't mind being called bitches, but those of us who have some class, what we do is think up nice quotes like you just did there, drop them in Parliament, and you will be much more effective quoting literature, exposing your education, and yet you're witty as hell and biting as hell at them.
Yeah.
You don't have to call people, I don't want to say, today I don't feel like
I mean, the Mighty Sparrow does it well. Speaks about saltfish and all that,
Okay, so back to what you were saying there. Understand that Orwell was not speaking of English and French or Latin or whatever. Orwell was talking about the argot of politics. Politicians have their own language, and Orwell was thinking that they will give you sweetie, sweetie talk. Orwell could never have imagined the kind of politicians we have. The white people, those white colonials who gave us Parliament, but really everything they gave us was to take care of the fellow colonials they left behind. But they are half-assed institutions in that they're not completely staffed and so on and so on. But over in England, they have every protection for everything. So we have cars, we are given cars that are only shells, no engine, nothing. And from 1979, we could have equipped those cars with engine and spark plugs. We're too stupid, and we're too retarded, and we're too into mépris to worry about that. So most of the laws that we have since independence have been the same colonial laws. Every now and again, we have to import a law from England. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is where we are. It's not English the guy is talking about. The guy is talking about language of politicians, and I suspect he was talking about politicians who are educated. Our politicians have no shame. There's no such, and you know, it's so funny. All over the chat room, and when you hear them when you read them on Facebook, Sahant, you would think, well, Sahant, for those who are listening who don't know what it means shameless.
Yeah, shameless, without shame.
You would think that the rest of us was so concerned about not appearing shameless that we would behave in a manner indicative of that. We would speak like educated people. We would quote literature. We would talk about Derek Walcott, what he said, to make a point, like when Derek Walcott shouted at me and said to me, as for you, Rick Wayne, I want to tell you, until you have accomplished what you set out to accomplish, you have not done enough. And he reduced me to a little boy. He was teaching me a lesson. Don't give up on something that's worth doing, that you have decided is worth fighting for. Until you have accomplished what you set out to accomplish, you have not done enough. So keep on doing till you drop dead. And that's inspiration to me. But that's the kind of, and that's not any quote anywhere. That was a quote to Rick Wayne, and I hope I'll put it somewhere that it goes to Derek Walcott and so on and so on. So we're not really interested in language. We're not interested in the words we use. We're not. Or if you come up with figure of speech, well, you know what happens to that here. And usually figures of speech are for educated people to understand figures of speech too. But they will turn that figure of speech or whatever, and our population goes more and more ignorant. And you have to understand, you cannot have a democracy with people who don't appreciate democracy. And to appreciate democracy, you must be educated. But who cares about education here? You see ministers dressing up as if they're going for carnival and playing obvious games in the schools, and it gets worse and worse. To me, it is so depressing to me. I don't mind a good debate. I don't mind a good exchange. I relish that. But I'm finding myself more and more ill at ease fighting pigs in pigsties, you know? I really don't want to do that. It's disgusting. It preaches against everything. And another thing, you know, even when you choose not to respond to something because you find it contemptible, Tim, you cannot do that in St. Lucia.
Because what? People see you as a coward.
People see you as a coward.
Yeah.
And whatever foolishness there is, they say it's true. And they start to make with you because they have nothing better to do. They don't read books. St. Lucia is well known for not reading. We are encouraged by our leaders not to read. So when the mass is an ignorant mass, a non-reading mass, a mépris-loving mass, where the hell do you think we are going? And it makes me so depressed. Man, I can take on anyone. You think it's at this point, after 40-something years of wallowing in this mépris pit, anybody has a mépris that will offend me? I mean, that's almost impossible. But you also wonder why it is, if somebody criticizes the operation of government and uses strong words, that the reaction is taken to court or start cussing them publicly. That is what is meant by the chilling effect, you know. And politicians are warned, yes, you have rights, but the public gives you every piece of equipment to get the truth across. Politics, everybody understands, is not the nicest place to be. And when you went into politics, you knew you were going into a place where people would criticize you roughly and perhaps in language you don't like. But that is the name of politics, Tim. You with me?
Yes.
So what you do is you go on television or you put your PR team, or which we all pay for, and put out the truth, the facts, as many times as it will take to persuade your audience, the people of the country, that you are not what your critic says you are, that in fact you're doing your job. Was that clear, Tim?
Absolutely.
Instead, they do the chilling effect so that if you go after, if you say something about a minister and he gets on there and uses everything at his disposal to reduce you to dog shit, pardon my French, which is méqui, the other guy who has a serious problem and wants to complain or at least criticize, which is his democratic right, what do you think he's going to do?
Keep quiet.
He keeps quiet so the politician gets what he wants to get. It's called the chilling effect. And you know, Tim, there's a special place, as a cliche, a special place in hell for all those St. Lucians who know better and who are too scummy to stand up and who take jobs that encourage the very things they know are killing St. Lucia. They become complicit in the killing of St. Lucia for a couple of bucks. I mean, you look around and you wonder how these people sleep. You wonder how they sleep. People who allegedly are educated. I mean, this week on Facebook there was a lot of exchange. There was an exchange about that accident with those people at the 2011 election. And by the way, 2011 turns out to be one of our most memorable years for politics in St. Lucia. A lot of things happened in 2011, including that bus. Monsignor, what's it called?
Yeah, Monsignor, yeah.
That's a very, very, very... So there were a lot of exchanges about that. In fact, I have a document there where the government had decided it was going to have a monument put there.
I don't think that has been done, huh?
There's no monument.
Yeah, that has not been done.
Announced it and everything. Huh?
That has not been done.
We have not even decided how that transit came off the road and drove all the way there over that cliff. We have not decided that. But you know, we call it an accident when in fact it's an incident. But nobody talks about those things. Instead, it's who's wearing what panty, who stole this, and never a case. You know, who stole this, corruption, and all of them, you know, Tim. It's not one politician. They've been doing that for years. I remember a witty comment from John Compton. I know I've been on long, so sorry about that. When Compton said, and again, there was a lady called Mrs. Haynes, and she was kind of bald. Maybe she had what Pinkett, Jada, what's her name, Jada Pinkett?
Yeah.
Will Smith's wife?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what she had, I don't know. But she was hairless. And Compton, who liked his salty sailor jokes, Compton said on the platform, Malt, which was George Mallet,
yeah,
there is more hair in George Mallet's hair than there is on Ma Haynes' head. That was not nice, but, you know, it wasn't nice. But look how far we've progressed. So this is not new. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And that's what happens with problems left unattended. They don't get better and they don't stay stagnant. They get worse and worse and worse. And if we as a people don't stand up for some standards, then that's the end of it.
All right, thank you so much. The broadcast continues in just a moment with more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages. We also have our NewsSpin news of the day as well as the question of the day and a challenge from a caller to a particular talk show. You're watching NewsSpin on our NewsSpin Facebook page. We are also on YouTube and you're listening on Power 97.9 FM.
solution when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus take charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Introducing the new LuSelect Virtual Service Desk, where one click is your access to every service. From my account to streetlight reports, requests for payment arrangements to settle arrears, change of name and address. Easy online forms give you access from anywhere and at any time. Every service you need at your fingertips. Go to our website, luselect.com, and click on the Virtual Service Desk widget. LuSelect's Virtual Service Desk. Every solution at your fingertips.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay. Flow is keeping you connected.
And he's done it! He's done it! And my goodness, it's gone.
The biggest party in cricket is back! Premier Sports Inc. presents the KFC SPL T20. Powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Will defending champions Choiseul Craft Masters retain their crown? Or will they be pulled down?
Oh, it's time for him. Perfect.
From October 13th to the 28th, come witness the biggest party in sport at the Darren Sammy Cricket Grounds and Grosley Playing Field. Grab your tickets now. Saw Gas Station in Grosley, Amici Restaurant and Bar in Rodney Bay, Riverside Car Park in Castries, Soufre Foundation in Soufre, Monrepo, Choiseul, and Labrie Credit Union. Tickets are only $15 for adults, $5 for children. VIP $65 and $85. The party is back! The KFC SPL T20, powered by the National Lotteries Authority. Show them how to party.
The new home of the best country music is Power 97.9 FM.
Say the stars are bound to fade.
Switch us on join me, DJ Jerry, this and every Thursday from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold, the best in country music.
Your bags are packed and waiting.
The new, the oldies, and the goldies. So let's make it a date. This and every Thursday with me, DJ Jerry, from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold. If it's Thursday, it's Country Gold Thursday. Country Gold, only on Power 97.9 FM.
I lead a rich, rewarding life.
Automotive art is a place to start.
Can't get a break from all this tax? Head to Automotive Art and get a taxcation. Automotive Art is offering you an ease from VAT and health and safety levy with savings of up to 15% and more. That's right, 15% of all tools, 15% of all accessories, 15% of car detailing, 15% of all rims, 15% of computerized wheel alignment, and 15% and more of selected tires with savings of up to 30% on some sizes. It's Automotive Art Taxcation. Visit us at Automotive Art at Vidbutai Castries and Latuni Vieux today and enjoy a taxcation. Offer valid for limited time. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
St. Lucia. Get set for one big night as we celebrate Midnight Groover's 50th anniversary. It's happening on Saturday, October 14th at 4 Door in Dennery. Celebrate 50 years with Midnight Groovers. Also featuring the Secret Solo Band, Prosper, General Bates, Ali Katz, Mishak, and your 2023 Soca Monarch King, Imran Nerdy. Music by DJ Cleus, DJ Camo, and Ronnie Dread. Early bird tickets cost $75. Regular, $100. You pay more at the door. Get your tickets over at Steve's Barbershop in Castries, Anthony's Jewelers, all the sell outlets, the Shelter Bar over in Babano, Falco's Bar in Richmond Dennery, Plants Place in Dennery, and Seamay's Distributors in Latuni View Forts. Sponsored by Blue Waters, First National Bank, Little House in the Woods, Courtesy Taxi and Tours, BB Rum, MBC Real FM, Hot 7 TV, Liberty FM and TV, powered by Root Boy and endorsed by the Folk Research Center. Saturday, October 14th, Midnight Groover's 50th anniversary inside 4 Door in Dennery. Make this your lime. Get your tickets.
It's coming. The brunch of the century. Welcome to Sunburnt. Sunday, November 26th. Sunburnt. Sunburnt. It's coming.
Normal occurred earlier today. What I'm talking about, well, people calling other talk shows and complaining about yours truly. So a guy called Zafenu on NBC this morning and advising me to speak on a particular subject. Because for him, some comment that was made a few weeks ago, he found it to be unacceptable and reprehensible. So therefore, that warrants my intervention. It is deserving of me taking your precious time to focus on that particular issue. But let's listen to the caller to the broadcast, basically advising me that I should address a particular issue. Let's listen to him.
So I look forward to listening to NewsSpin today to hear what Timothy Poleon has to say on that issue. Because I know he likes to spin things conveniently. So I look forward to listening to NewsSpin today to hear what Timothy Poleon has to say on that issue. Because I know he likes to spin things conveniently.
So what is the issue? Let us listen to that reprehensible, and I think so, reprehensible statement that was made by one of the platform speakers during a recent town hall meeting of the opposition United Workers' Party.
Today, as I stand here, I am annoyed, I am angry at myself on few portions. I heard the young man saying he's not asking us to burn houses. Maybe we have to go down that route.
We just heard there from Wayne Harrow, an attorney. So, I hope the guy is watching, the caller to that program. Unacceptable, reprehensible. I will not say it's unfortunate. That is not the kind of statement we should be making on a platform, any kind of platform at all, or even privately, or in a watering hole. It is unacceptable irrespective of how you look at it. But you say I like to spin things, so I'll spin this one because it's normal. This is the name of the program. It is NewsSpin. I did not hear that caller a few years ago when a particular individual from the south of the island said that a bomb should be placed under the seat of Alan Shastney and likewise under the seat of Guy Joseph and detonate it. So we selective in our approach, selective in our condemnation. When we hear politicians and leaders saying there will be no peace in V4 South if this is done and that is done and etc. When we hear politicians say things like we have to take back our country, when we hear on certain programs the kind of comments we hear from certain individuals in St. Lucia, inciting violence. We don't hear that. So I am consistent. I've been saying for years, watch your language, don't preach violence. We certainly, as a country, we cannot cause our country to be in chaos, because after the chaos, the rebuilding process will be very, very difficult, and we cannot afford that. So I hate when supporters of one political party or the other would convey the impression that the preaching of violence and inciting people comes from only one particular platform. That is definitely not the case. The SLP is guilty of it, and likewise, the United Workers' Party is also guilty of it, and across the board, this has got to stop. Okay? So, that is my 2 cents on this issue. Let's see if we get a call. 452-2979. I think we have a WhatsApp call, 716-2026. And that is 716-2026. Hello and good afternoon to you, Mr. Guy Joseph.
Good afternoon, team.
Hi, good afternoon to you, sir. What is on your mind today?
Team, it's important for us to understand. I've been following your talk show for today, and you have touched on some very pertinent issues today. But one of the things, and I think Rick was spot on about his deliberation, my concern is with what is happening in the Parliament of St. Lucia today, and how much false information is given in the Parliament, and nobody is questioning. So I know you would have listened to that clipping from former Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony as it relates to his statement about a bank account, and insinuating or stating that there was some special affinity with the former Prime Minister Alan Shastley and the OECC, or the UWP government and OECC. I want to state categorically, and I have all the information before me here, that the punching, and I will spell it for those who may want to Google it, it's PANHSIN. PANHSIN. That bank, that is the beneficiary bank. The account holder is Overseas Engineering Construction Company. That is who money was paid to for the contract on St. Jude. So the insinuation that some money had gone to an account in Panama is completely false and fabricated. And to further compound the matter, Dr. Anthony said that it was money that he had negotiated. I have the agreement before me today of the loan number 6021840001, dated as of October 27, 2014. The loan agreement between the then government of St. Lucia, led by Dr. Kenny Anthony, and the government and of the people of Republic of China on Taiwan, and the Exim Bank. Half of the money had been drawn down, and the other half of the money could be drawn down in 3 tranches. 6 million when the project was 25% complete. The other was 2.5 million when the project was 50% complete, and the 1.5 to be drawn down after the substantial completion and acceptance of the project. When you have entered into a loan agreement, and I have verified with the people who are directly involved, I was the minister in the Ministry of Economic Development at the time, no money from that loan was paid to OECC. OECC was paid from the new loan that was negotiated by the Alan Shastley government of the $20 million US for the construction work on the new century. So for Dr. Anthony to come to the Parliament, mislead the Parliament, then we have the Prime Minister saying 2.5. You heard the figure, Tim?
What, 2.5%?
I've never heard the figure.
The commission.
No.
The commission.
The Prime Minister, Philip JPS, said, and I can quote his figure, 2,560,190 million.
Mm-hmm.
That is what Philip JPS said. I've never heard a figure like this in my life before. Team. Now, St. Lucians need to understand, and I think it is a responsibility on the part of the Speaker, that when persons are going to come to the Parliament and give information, when I spoke about the minister's account with Sean, even if it was my government in office at the time, I was asked to provide the evidence that there was a minister's account. And I had to go and get the minutes of the National Lottery meeting, which in fact I had it because I knew that as a parliamentarian, if you're going to present information, you have to be equipped with the information. In a lot of cases, when you are on the government side, if you are in opposition, you are not required to do so. So for a former Prime Minister to come and call the government of Taiwan into disrepute, to call into dispute the reputation of the Exim Bank, to say that he signed an agreement that the loan should go to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, and the Exim Bank would have diverted the money to another entity. That is gross misrepresentation. And you'd think that a former Minister of Finance, a law lecturer at University of the West Indies, and so many other credentials that Dr. Kenny Anthony holds, why would Dr. Kenny Anthony have to resort to giving false information in Parliament? And then the Prime Minister, who had the opportunity to clarify the matter, that is Philip JPS, he said he leaves it to speculation. You know why they left it to speculation, Tim? Because they know it's an untruth. They know it is false information that they presented in the Parliament just to try and tarnish the reputation of Alan Shatley as leader of the opposition, and more so when he was Prime Minister. So I want all St. Lucians, Tim, and your listeners to challenge the Labour Party administration to show where that account is in Taiwan. The address is in Taipei City. Tim, the address is there. Anybody can go and Google Bank of Pansin, Panhsin, and you will see. I tried my best to find out whether there was a branch in Taipei, in Panama. I don't know where Panama came. Maybe because they saw Pansin, they assumed that it was Panama. But that bank was established in 1957 and is situated in Taipei, in Taiwan. And all the information I have received so far, Tim, is pointing, and I know that for a fact, that the money was transferred from the bank, the Exim Bank, based on the certificates of works done to the account of OECC in Taiwan and not in Panama. So that thing about trying to associate people with Panama and this thing, this is completely false and completely fabricated by the St. Lucia Labour Party.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling the broadcast. This is there from Mr. Guy Joseph, former government minister and one of two deputy political leaders of the opposition, UWP. Some quick comments from the chat room before we conclude, Kimani?
Someone says, unacceptable. People have to be responsible even in speech. You can't let your emotions take control of you, SMH. Someone else says, oh yes, Tim, our democracy is at stake. We are marching. I'm not even blaming Kenny Anthony for failing the people of Beaufort. I'm blaming the people because they keep voting him in to stay in misery and poverty. Another comment, I strongly believe that we should put the red and yellow aside and let us go and demonstrate for the continuity of the new structure. Let us make our concerns heard. Another comment, this entire government has to be removed from office. Election is near, now they want to give you fourth attention. Another comment, all patriotic St. Lucians need to go march for St. Jude's and a myriad of other issues in our country. Someone says we have to create a framework for keeping kick him in the belly of NewsSpin, LOL. Tim, would you ever let me go?
No. No. That's it
in the chat
room.
room.
All right. Thank you so much. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. NewsSpin news of the day. Oil prices jump 4% after Hamas attack on Israel. Oil prices jump 4% after Hamas attack on Israel. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Timothy Poleon. Coming up next, we have the Power Drive right here on Power 97.9 FM. And we'll be back, God willing, same time tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, with another edition of NewsSpin. Goodbye.